In the heart of Utah's Wasatch Front, there's a city called Farmington. City is a little generous. It has about 24,000 residents, which is roughly half the daily attendance at Disneyland. My grandparents settled down in Farmington after they got married in 1955. My dad grew up there. I grew up really close by. Just down the street from my grandparents' house is a small amusement park called Lagoon. Every summer, we would pile into the family minivan and head on a 5-minute pilgrimage for a day at the park. You knew you were getting close when you could see the giant wooden roller coaster with the faded white paint. While we waited in line to enter, my mom would slather sunscreen over our noses and ears as we listened to a soundtrack of train track clacking and primal screams. It's a cherished part of my childhood. While I loved Lagoon, I didn't appreciate it. I figured it was just small potatoes. Not unreasonably. After all, its biggest competition seemed to be the nearby Dollar Theater. So imagine my surprise to learn from my friend and fellow lifelong Lagooner Josh Burch that in 2015, Amusement Today gave its Park of the Year award to none other than Lagoon. Since then, Josh and I have done some serious digging on Lagoon. We've scoured databases and we've crunched numbers. We've researched the history and we've interviewed people who were there for that history, namely my dad and my grandpa. And from the facts, a clear picture has emerged. Lagoon is a one-of-a-kind destination and a national treasure. So without further ado, here are 15 facts about the greatest amusement park that you have never heard of. Fact 1. Lagoon has a lot of roller coasters. How many is a lot? For context, according to rollercoasterdatabase.com, the median number of roller coasters for a park with at least one is actually just one. But it probably wouldn't be fair to compare Lagoon to somewhere like Howard's Apple's Farm Market. But even if you take parks that have 2 or more, the median number of coasters is still just 4. That's actually plenty. I mean, it's good enough for Disneyland. But Lagoon has 10. That's roughly 1 for every resident of Farmington. Lagoon ties for 13th most coasters in the US and 20th in the world. Not too shabby. Fact 2. Lagoon is older than the state of Utah. Lagoon is the 15th oldest amusement park in the United States and the 6th oldest park with at least 4 roller coasters. The median birthday of that group is 1969. Lagoon was founded in 1886, 10 years before Utah even achieved statehood. It's a fully functioning slice of American history. Fact number 3. The Skee-Ball Machines sometimes have free games on them. According to my dad, the Skee-Ball Machines would generate a random 2-digit number at the end of each game, and if the last 2 digits of your score happened to match that number, they would reward you with a free game. But not very many people knew about this, and so if you went up and down every machine and checked it, more often than not, you could find a free game. Fact number 4. Lagoon has a world-class modern extreme ride. Lagoon's Cannibal is a hypercoaster, which means it's over 200 feet tall. There are fewer than 40 of these in the whole United States. Its initial drop curls under, making it the tallest greater than vertical drop in the world. Fact number 5. Lagoon is practically a time capsule. Lagoon has won awards for its top-notch preservation efforts. Thanks to those efforts, it's able to offer many really unique historical experiences. These include dozens of vintage carnival games and 2 indoor dark rides. This once popular genre carries the rider through a series of vignettes made of materials like papier-mâché, wood, wire, and styrofoam. Because they're so fragile, most of the parks that had them have long since retired them, but Lagoon has kept its 2 functional and pristine. Fact number 6. You can often find loose change by the pool. According to my dad, people would often set their change down in the grass by their towels when they would go swimming in Lagoon's pool, and then forget to retrieve it after they left. If you kept an eye out and you found that change, you could pretty much just keep it. Fact number 7. Lagoon has an extremely rare and wildly fun thrill ride. Riding the Samurai feels roughly like being an ant on the end of a raver's glow stick. It belongs to a category of ride called the Mondial Top Scan, of which there are only 9 in the world. It's a can't-miss ride for thrill seekers. Fact number 8. Lagoon has a still operating ride from 1893. Lagoon's carousel was built a whopping 128 years ago. The merry-go-round is one of fewer than 170 intact wooden carousels in operation for the public today. It, along with the White Roller Coaster, 1921, and the Flight of the Flying Aces, 1941, is on the National Registry of Historic Places. Fact number 9. The lockers sometimes have free quarters. According to my dad, the lockers would require a quarter to be able to take the key out. But when you put the key back in, it gives you the quarter back. But a lot of people either didn't know or didn't care to retrieve the quarter. And, at that point, finders keepers. Fact number 10. Lagoon has 2 roller coasters from the iconic Schwarzkopf company. A legend in modern roller coaster design, Anton Schwarzkopf was responsible for several innovations in coaster culture, most notably involving loops. Before Schwarzkopf, loops were treacherous business. Some exerted as many as 11 Gs on riders, an express ticket to Blackoutsville. Schwarzkopf perfected the formula, and his rides are still renowned. But their numbers are dwindling, with only 52 of the 144 he originally built surviving. Lagoon has not one, but 2 Schwarzkopfs, the Colossus and the Jetstar. It's the only park with that distinction. Fact number 11. Lagoon lets you bring in your dog. QED. Fact number 12. Lagoon was a popular venue for many legendary musical acts, and is mentioned by name in a Beach Boys song. The list of performers at Lagoon is a who's who of Hall of Fame artists, including the Rolling Stones, Johnny Cash, Duke Ellington, Janis Joplin, Benny Goodman, Jimi Hendrix, Count Basie, Ray Charles, The Doors, Ella Fitzgerald, Dave Brubeck, and Louis Armstrong. The Beach Boys were regulars there, and it was one of their first venues outside of California. They even mention it by name in their song Salt Lake City. There's a park near the city, yeah. All the kids dig the lagoon now. It's full of all kinds of girls and rides, and we'll be flying there soon now. QED. Fact number 13. Harry James played at Lagoon. While this bandleader may not be quite as well known as some of the other acts to play at Lagoon, he was easily the most important for one simple reason. His 1952 concert provided the setting for a date between a pair of high school sweethearts who would go on to marry and have 4 children, one of which would go on to be my father. Fact number 14. You used to could ride the Bamberger Railroad from right near your house with your big brother, little sister, Jim Peters, and Sterling Perks, and if you had saved up enough allowance, you could play on the joy wheel in the fun house and have some cotton candy. According to my grandpa. Fact number 15. The erstwhile White Roller Coaster is a century old and a national treasure. Perhaps Lagoon's crown jewel is a roller coaster that has gone by many names and through many planks of wood. It's now called the roller coaster, but growing up, I knew it as the White Roller Coaster on account of how it was painted white. And that is what I'll call it until the day that I die. The White Roller Coaster was created in 1921 by the father of the modern high-speed roller coaster, John Milner. This dude is also responsible for the Cyclone at Coney Island, which is actually 6 years junior to the White Roller Coaster. Only 2 operating roller coasters in the country are older than the White Roller Coaster, and only 6 in the world. The White Roller Coaster turns 100 years old this year. Like the ship of Theseus, there is probably no single piece of wood that has lasted all that time. It has been through a literal James Taylor gauntlet, fire and rain, and more. But the coaster remains just as powerful, just as thrilling, just as iconic today as it was when the young bucks returning from World War I rode it with their sweethearts. Every time I went to Lagoon, I rode on the White Roller Coaster, typically with my father. And when my father was a kid, he rode the White Roller Coaster with his father. And the first time my father's father rode the White Roller Coaster, he did so with his father. If that doesn't make Lagoon special, then I don't know what to tell you. Do you love the Beach Boys song Salt Lake City? Then you're going to love the Flyover album. This once-in-a-lifetime collection features classic Beach Boys songs about surprisingly random places such as Wouldn't It Be Nice to Live in Cleveland?
Wouldn't it be nice to live in Cleveland? Then we wouldn't have to wait in lines.
Omaha.
Omaha.
St. Louis,
Saint Saint
and North Dakota girls.
I wish they all could be North Dakota girls. I wish they all could be North Dakota girls.
Order now and get the Flyover collection for just 12 easy payments of $99.99.
You know, it seems the more we talk about it, it only makes it worse to live in Cleveland.